Hey everyone, this is Tony with the 80 Star Basketball Channel, going through this weekend's auction recap. In the 84 Star Jordan 101, we had a total of 3 sales this month so far. Two on March 8th, PSA 6 at Golden went for $26,840. BGS 8.5, March 8th also went for $173,240. That's due to the autograph. And there was also a $24,623 sale, PSA 5. Looking at the upcoming auctions, I currently see two on eBay and one at Fanatics. BGS 5.5 on eBay. Current asking is $16,000. PSA 6 currently at $23,100. And a BGS 8 at Fanatics at $21,000. Let's take a look at this PSA 6 here. A little bit thin border on our left. Recently graded, nice card, clean. I think it's going to go for a nice price. And the back is also looking good. Want to take another look at the corners. So on these new slabs, they have a little cellophane like inner holder on the front and back, and that's why you have this glare with pretty much every scanner that you use. So a little bit white here on this corner, little bit of white here, common tilt on these cards. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a nice card. That's being sold by Carlin Cards, 34 bids so far, ends in 4 days, 8 hours, and is at $23,300. Looking at the Olympic 195 card, there was a few sales we can go over. PSA 9 sold on Fanatics for $26,040. Also on the same night, we had a BGS 6 that looks like it has a 5.5 centering, 9 edges, 9 corners, and 6 surface. And this went for $2,500. Also in March, on the 8th, PSA 6 sold for $4,575. For $3,000. So these are some nice cards. You can compare the grades and the prices and see which one fits your budget and your collection. And we have one on eBay and another one on Fanatics. Fanatics is a PSA 4 thin border. I took a look at this earlier. That's currently at 1,290. There's a PSA 6 on eBay, currently at $4,500. Now on to the 288 Rookie of the Year, Michael Jordan. On this card, we didn't see too many sales in January and February, but we're starting to see more now. So we had 4 sales and we have 2 upcoming auctions. With the 4 sales, PSA 1, 1,320. We had a PSA 6 sell for $4,599. I want to get back into this PSA 6.5 after this sale here. On March 5th, on eBay, there was a BGS 8 that sold for $8,500. I took a look at this before. It's kind of hard with this background, but enough people liked it to have it sell for $8,500. Pretty smart to leave it in the BGS 8 case. Now, this card, quite a few folks were talking about this one. This sold at Golden last week, and it went for $10,413. I think this is a great card. A little bit thicker border than what we're used to on the right. And edge wear and corners on the bottom, nice for 6.5. On the top, you see a little bit of a surface issue on this little white blotch here. That's normal. Top edge wear, that's pretty normal on this card. Centering, I think, is pretty darn good. So, in my opinion, this is a true six, and PSA liked the eye appeal so much that they bumped it up to a point 0.5. As we discussed in previous auction recaps, in 2008, PSA introduced the half a bumps. Half a bumps are just if a card goes from a 5 to a 5.5, 4 to a 4.5. It's just any 0.5 grade in between two solid grades. It was introduced as a way for PSA to let people know, hey, this card by the standards is, grades at this specific condition. However, we feel the eye appeal is off the charts and they gave it a half a bump. So some people are seeing this card, they're saying it's a six. The vast majority of people saying this is really a 7 and a 6.5. In my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, I think it's a legitimate 6.5 based on the eye appeal, and I'm not sure PSA would grade it a 7. If you crack it out, whoever bought this card and you send it into PSA, you could get the 7, but you can also get a 6. I don't know if you're going to get a 6.5 because PSA doesn't usually give out half grades often. Upcoming sales, we have two of them, both on eBay. One is a BGS 7 and the other is a PSA 6. I looked at both of these earlier, and thin borders, they're not as nice as the ones we just looked at. With our trio of John Stockton, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Charles Barkley, there was a total of 6 sales between all three. 0 for Stockton, 4 for Olajuwon, and 2 for Barkley. This Olajuwon was a 7, went for nearly $1,600. Here we have an Olajuwon PSA 6 with the 10 auto. So for $2,200, I think the buyer paid up for it. It's a nice card, but with the thin border and the slightly, just ever so slightly top to bottom centering, I would uh, I would have paid a little bit less for it myself, but it's still extremely nice card. Uh, $2,200. So Hakeem Olajuwon cards are definitely getting some attention. We also had on March 7th a PSA 7 of Olajuwon, and this went for $1,600, a little bit thicker border than the previous card. So you figure between the 7 and the 6, the person paid an extra $500 for one grade less, but with the 10 auto. And for Charles Barkley, we mentioned 2 sales. On March 11th, there was a PSA 5 with the 10 auto. This sold on eBay for $2,500. Nice card for the grade. And on March 4th, Fanatics had a buy it now. This was an 8.5. And I did like this 8.5. 9 centering, 8 edges, 8.5 corners with a surface of 9.5 on a BGS slab. I would feel much more confident with the surface as if the grade was 8, 8.5, and even some 9s. The surface does look strong. The edges, you can see here why it was an 8, but overall, I think it's a nice card. And the buyer only paid $1,500 for this 8.5. I think if it crosses over, you're looking probably at least a 7. Yeah, I think this is a good one. With John Stockton, I saw 2 current listings. This is a lot, so we're not going to talk about that. We have a BGS 9 on eBay by 4 Sharp Corners, typical of many Stockton cards. It has a slight slanted cut on the top. We also have a PSA 7 that's on eBay at Probstein. For Barkley, there's one for sale currently on eBay, BGS 8.5 at $348. You can take a look at that when you have the chance. Olajuwons, there's none currently at auction. All these are listings. Patrick Ewing, there were 2 sales in this month. I only see one still listed. I did create a ticket for Car Ladder because we want our comps to be as true as possible. The 8 went for $369, and there was an 8.5 that went for $600. Didn't see any upcoming sales. And the final car we're going to go over is the second year MJ. I was talking to Dave at the Philly show this past weekend, and I didn't see one of these cards there. Um, a lot of folks seem to be holding on to these. Glad I was able to pick up mine from REA 14 months ago or so. This is a nice copy here. We talked about it weeks ago. We weren't sure if the glare in the center of the card was caused by the scanner or it had some fading, but I don't think it was fading due to the 9.5 grade. So these are definitely going up in price. And, just look at the 9 that sold at Golden last month, February 20th. This went for 31.23. And then you had the 9.5 go for 57.60. So yeah, this is definitely a nice card. Upcoming auctions for MJ's second year, 117. There's a BGS 9.5 currently on eBay. Also, folks asked about bags. There were some bag sales. So, according to Car Ladder, there was one sale, and Ryan talked about this. A golden, a sealed Jordan Team Chicago Bulls bag went for $36,600. Ryan talked about the condition. If you collect bags, this is your thing. I do like buying bags, but this one wasn't for me, so I stayed out of it. Regarding bags that are coming up for sale, I saw some at Heritage. There's a Gatorade Slam Dunk bag, currently at $525. There's a lot of 7 5x7s from 1985, currently at $280. Just started. This came up as a bag, but it's not. There's the Miller Lite All-Star bag, currently at $700. Court Kings bag from 1986, $700. And we got the Jordan set 10 card bag, currently at $2,100. 84 unopened Portland Trailblazers team bag at $320. Crunch and Munch at $10.50. And the last one we'll talk about is an 85-star all-rookie basketball set. This is going to get some attention too, having Olajuwon and Jordan in it. This one is currently at $1,350. One other topic I wanted to talk about with folks is, and it's not a problem right now in the star community because we don't have a lot of old certificate star cards because PSA recently graded them, but we do have some ones in BGS. Always buy the card, forget what's on the flip, just forget all that. You need to focus on the card itself. And I have an example here. I don't know who owns this card. This is a 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson card. It was graded a PSA 8, and now it's in an authentic altered holder. If we look at the past sales in June of 2021, it sold for $145,000. In February of 2024, the same exact PSA 8 sold for nearly $109,000. both at memory lane. Someone bought it as a private sale not too long before the national. I don't know who was the seller, who was the buyer, but it was a private sale. It was a PSA holder, and it was also not only in a PSA holder, but it was recently reholdered and now got an authentic altered grade. So whoever was the new owner of this card noticed after he or she purchased it that the card was trimmed or a bad factory miscut on the top edge here. It's not fun to buy a card, pay a lot of money, and to find out that it's been altered, especially trimmed. So just always remember, buy the card and not the grader, buy the card and not the grade, and you'll be fine. With that, I'd like to thank everyone for giving me your time, and take care, folks.